therapeutic style.
Well, I noticed a lot of different things, Crystal, when you were being the nurse. Eye contact, you had good eye contact with produce, and you had a really pleasant look on your face. It wasn't like scowling or judgmental. It was like a slight smile, but not like, it was just a really good, a pleasant face, and looked interested in what she was saying.
You were relaxed too.
Yep.
You weren't like nervous.
Much more as a nurse than I was as the patient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were nodding, like, so you could tell that you were like listening to what she was saying. I saw you nodding, taking it in.
Yeah, kind of sink in. Gave me the floor to really pour it out.
Yeah, definitely pauses, good pauses in there for silence.
Oh, okay.
I thought. And then, keep going because I took notes.
I didn't take notes.
You had acknowledgement in there. You're like, motherhood is hard. She said how hard it was, and you're like, yeah, motherhood is hard. So that was like an acknowledging thing, which I think was one of the therapeutic methods. And you also had a clarifying statement, like you wanted to say, well, what makes it hard? Like, it's hard, but what for you is hard? So there was like asking clarifying questions, and then asking about the feeling like if you were going to hurt the baby or the child. I guess that's something that should be in there.
Yeah, I mean, those are hard questions to ask.
I have no issue asking the hard stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, that's hard for a lot of people, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think those are hard questions to ask and to, I think you just asked them matter-of-factly. You didn't do it with judgment and stuff. I think that's...
Make it easier.
Yeah, it makes it easier didn't it make it easier for
Someone
you?
to respond,
It was,
Yeah.
for me, what made it easier was the way you said, and just, I didn't see anything like, oh my gosh, what she's going to think of me. It's just real pleasant.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Not like a reaction. Like,
Yeah.
You're not your baby.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Well, you
Don't
know what
take
I
it
kind
all
of,
in.
and there's something I remember for myself is if you don't know what to do with the answer, don't ask the question. And that's not something that pertains to this right here now. Because you could have asked the questions, whether you want the answer or not, but you're also on the spot the minute they answer.
And you got to respond.
Well, it's like you don't have to have an answer to fix it, but you got to respond to it, right? So it's like all of a sudden it's backwards to me. Whether you want that answer or not, you need to ask that question. Because like you say, the tough ones, are you going to hurt yourself? Are you going to hurt someone else?
Yeah.
You need to ask it whether you want the answer or not.
Yeah.
So that's a little backwards to me,
Yeah, that's an interesting way of looking at it.
But did you feel like you had to react when? Because I don't.
It bothered me when she said. It bothered me when she said, "I want to beat up my 3-year-old." Yeah, it bothered me when she mentioned that. I
But
didn't know what to do.
But you didn't.
React.
You weren't judgmental about it.
No, and no, and I think everything she was saying led me to believe that she is overwhelmed. I never went to the ethnic, in your culture, women do everything, or anything like that. It's just like you're overwhelmed, is what I'm thinking, but it's not a good thing you want to hit your 3-year-old, so you're thinking hitting the baby. I guess that's what I was thinking the most. Yeah. Because she's relying on, she's getting mad at the 3-year-old for not helping, but the husband's not home enough, and she never said nothing to the mother-in-law. And the baby's just a baby, you can't blame nothing on that, so she's venting everything at this 3-year-old who,
Yeah, and
in
mother wasn't
reality,
there, so.
is just as innocent as the darn baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
And just on the record, mother-in-law wasn't there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she should be helping, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The other therapeutic technique, I guess, that I really heard was like, it was like you said, it sounds like you're overwhelmed. It was just kind of repeating back to her what she was saying and trying to get her to expand on it, like those feelings.
And even if she didn't know that's what she was feeling, at least it gave her something to, you know what I mean? Somebody else's perspective, to look at and stuff. Yep.
So good. I mean, awesome job.
Yeah.
How did you like, what did you like, being the patient or the nurse better?
I think I like to be the patient.
You like to be the patient?
Yeah, because I don't have to really take the answer. I mean, I don't have to ask questions.
Yeah.
So I was just being myself, pouring everything out. So it was easier for me just to tell
Be the
the
patient.
story, really.
Yeah, because it's fabricated.
Yeah. It's like,
Oh, totally.
I can talk
See, I
all
didn't
along,
like being
can
the
tell you
patient. I
everything.
didn't like being the patient because to talk to Liz and have eye contact with her, if those were really my problems, weren't like, that was not a very comfortable position. Like, and they weren't even my problems. They were my mother-in-law's problems. And
Yeah, but you never know how much the other person is thinking you're reflecting your own thing. Like, is Donna going to think I'm a bulimic or,
yeah,
Right,
and
right.
so you
that's
like.
what I chose to do.
So it's hard
Yeah.
to do eye contact and tell people your problem. That was the biggest thing that came for me being a patient was to actually, like I usually don't have problems looking at people in the eyes, but to talk about your problems and stuff, we're like looking everywhere. But
And I
the
know
person.
I will do that personally if I'm speaking with somebody about something. I'll look around a lot. I'll like stare at the wall and talk. Because then it's not so personal.
It's not so personal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's that
It removes
personal.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're like,
you're right. You're
So,
right.
yeah. And
Yeah.
for you being a nurse, you really did. I mean, you asked so many questions. There's so
that's
many
because she wasn't
therapeutic.
I
I mean,
No, you were
I'm sorry,
tight,
it was
man.
Sorry,
therapeutic.
really? I felt like I was talking a lot.
No, what
Okay.
I'm
Oh, good
saying.
God,
Oh,
no.
no,
Oh,
I
sorry.
talked more than you.
Sorry.
And I was
No,
gonna
Well, we'll go and review.
No, what I'm saying is basically
She's going to time it.
it was
I was talking
therapeutic.
43% of the time.
No, basically, no, what I'm trying to get into is it was more therapeutic. It wasn't really judgmental. So you were, whatever she says, you were putting back to her, trying to clarify to you, and it like sounds like, I mean, you really kind of trying to get her point of view, what she's thinking. You weren't saying, I think, which I
Yeah.
used one time when I was interviewing. I said, I think, and then I kind
You
of.
changed it, yeah, you did
Then I
change
changed
it.
a little bit. I'm like,
Yeah.
my goodness, I think it doesn't matter what I think.
Yeah,
That's what you
you
think. So
did
I
do a good job at
changed
that.
a little bit.
I noticed that,
I
yeah.
caught myself. So I think I did great.
I don't know if I heard a word she said. Because you get into the patient
Yeah.
role.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
think
Did you
about
notice
you.
that?
Yes.
You?
Yes, because I was trying to. Then I was like, oh, I gotta say something.
How would this patient
So what do you?
feel? That's what I was trying to feel. Like, what does my mother-in-law actually feel when she gets in the hospital and
Yeah.
they're all out
I
asking
know,
questions
I
and stuff?
Is it the first time you've sat and kind of thought about that, though? So did this
How
open a
people
different
feel.
perspective
Mm.
for you about your mother-in-law?
It'll probably give me the next time we do it, because I'm sure we'll do it the next time. Probably give me a little more understanding of
Empathy.
her position.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well, if that's what came out of this, then that's cool.
yep.
Yeah.
And trying not to be so judgmental at her.
Mhm.
Because I think everybody, when you get into a family and the person with the problem, everybody's got their judgments and they're all, it's
Yeah.
hard not to be judgmental at that person when it's
Sometimes,
somebody close to you, because you want
Yeah,
them
but
to
isn't
stop.
Get
your
better.
judgment your perception?
Yeah,
So who even says it's really reality?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's something
In a
else.
sense, I mean, you all walk in there preconceived with your perceptions
Yes,
against this person.
Yeah. and she just, I think,
What a mixed bowl of soup.
well, I think what it happens is people just automatically, when you come in with judgments, they automatically put up their
Well, damn straight.
walls and
Yeah.
everything, so you're not gonna get in. So I
So
guess
you have-
that's what the teaching of it is you can't be judgmental. You gotta go in like you and just not, even no matter what they say to you, trying not to be judgmental or try not to show any judgment.
See, I didn't see that in either one of you when you were doing it. I didn't see your faces go, like, oh my God, you don't eat, or, oh my God, you're crazy. I didn't see that out of either one of you. You just sat there and you had this same facial expression through the whole thing.
Because I was trying to think of the next
Except,
question.
except, when you have to, you gotta giggle a little, because I can
Yeah.
only see the side of your face and you're smirking and it sets her off, and what's worse
We're
than
cutting that out.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
gonna cut that out of our
Yeah.
video.
So what do you?
But
what do
you
you
guys
guys?
didn't either.
So how do you guys think I did?
I think you did well, yeah,
Oh,
you were
yes.
asking, and I think you did that one time when you were like, oh, I think, and then I was like, oh, what is she gonna say here, and then you fixed it, and I'm like, oh, nice save. Because, yeah, you did, I think you were really trying to be about the patient and same thing, trying to figure out,
How can she solve a problem without
Yeah.
me being involved, but coming from her?
how to try to help her figure that out, where she needed to go. Or
Well, and that's a tough
It's a hard
position, and
thing,
you
yeah,
both,
correct, yeah.
I think we all held it as patients, except maybe you. I don't know that you held this stance, but there was nothing wrong with us. We didn't need to be fixed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, granted,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
I didn't
though
want the
it's
medication.
like I come in and say, yeah, you
And
know,
actually, it
I
happened to
have
me.
a
I didn't
problem,
want the
but
medication.
only
they wanted to
because
put me on medication.
someone else, yeah.
Yeah,
I think we all had that, held
Everybody.
that stance, and I don't like that. I want somebody to, I don't know, I think I'd
Open up
rather
to you?
have them, I don't know what, it's a hard thing to sit. I would rather just sit and listen to them than I would try to talk against their refusal.
was it
I guess.
Produce that said, like, was it you that said, like, maybe a little change? You know, I think
She
that,
said that to me.
yeah, right, maybe some little changes,
Yeah, I
when you were
mean-
talking about,
The mood wise, I mean, I was
Or take a-
definitely.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I
or
was.
take a different
Different route
route,
home
or,
or
yeah,
something,
have you
yeah.
tried different things?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
hers? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I remember
I-
that classical conditioning.
Yeah,
When you go to that route and you see that store, you're gonna.
you go, yeah.
Oh my
You're on
gosh, yes.
autopilot.
The dog.
Light bulb
Yeah.
goes
Just
off.
go
You know,
there.
I want to go there. I just want to. All you
Pavlov and
think
his
about.
dog, absolutely.
All you think about is getting into that and getting it and drinking it, and you don't think about the consequence. And when you get it, and then you relax, you're like, oh my gosh, what the heck I did. So if you actually go different way, because
Sometimes.
I have a problem with Ferrero Rocher, okay?
Yeah, chocolate.
I'll get this
chocolate.
cat.
Ferrero Rocher. We've heard about this.
Ferrero
Chocolate.
Rocher, that's chocolate.
gold-
I'm a
the
chocolate
chocolate ball.
Oh, is that how you say that? Oh, okay.
Ferrero Rocher.
That's how she
But
said
anyway,
it.
Exactly.
I say it in my way. So anyway, I stopped doing shopping. I told my husband to do the shopping. Because
I think that was some. You just used that as an excuse for your husband to do something.
No, but that's one thing I did. And actually,
Yeah.
I don't like to do shopping to begin with.
See?
Yeah.
There we go. You know,
Change
that-
your behavior.
That's what I
Change your
noticed
behavior.
with you when you was, no, it was with you when you was the patient. The more you talked and the more you kind of kept leading her into it, the more information would come out.
Mhm.
At first, it was just a little
You
bit, my
agree,
family
yeah.
thinks I'm crazy, then it's
Mm-hmm.
another added little tidbit, and then it was another added little tidbit. And as these tidbits added up, well, okay, here comes the big picture. But you kept her talking.
But you do
But I
great though.
wasn't-
You were a great patient. I like
I
that.
wasn't
You
leading.
weren't giving any.
Yeah, I
Yes.
didn't like leading. Was that
Leading.
because that can be a problem too? Like if you're leading them to the wrong thing instead of letting them lead you. So was
Well,
I
I
leading her
questioned
more?
leading, but I questioned, some of your questions were the same
Yeah,
question.
because I was like, oh yeah,
Right,
without
right.
saying like
Yeah, but
creating
you
a
asked them,
problem.
I wrote that, and then you were asking the questions, the same question in
A
different
different way.
words.
See, I didn't feel like you
So-
were asking me the same question.
See,
Okay.
yeah. So I thought that at first, maybe because I picked it up as being the same question, but I didn't know if it brought more
Funny.
stuff out of her, which it
It's funny
did.
how everybody takes a different thing
Yeah,
out of it.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
she
didn't feel like
kept
you were asking me
adding
the same question.
and adding and adding. Did you notice that as you
Yeah.
were doing it,
Well,
you
yeah.
were getting more?
I wanted to try and get more out without like creating it. Like I didn't want to say, well, is it this? You know,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you don't want to
Yes,
put the
yes.
thing and
Give
then
them
have them latch
ideas,
onto that
yeah.
if it's not really the
Mhm.
problem.
We're 10
So,
minutes.
I think overall we did great.
I think it was okay, and it was kind of fun.
I think
And
it
it
was
was fun.
it was hard because
yeah.
I think it was hard being the nurse just because
Yes.
I found myself thinking, all right, like what am I gonna ask next?
And
Like,
See,
also
the
what-
nurse was like, bing, bang,
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
I had
And I
no
think
problem
the-
with that.
Being the
patient.
nurse was hard for me only because I felt I wasn't really helping this patient. I wasn't
Yeah.
doing anything. It's like, I need your problem, tell me all your problems, but I ain't gonna do nothing.
but part of it's just
Yeah.
you know
It's
at
like,
the
you know,
step,
what am I doing for you? You tell me all these problems. What am I doing for
Yeah,
you?
but you're not
To
a
help
one-stop
you.
shop
yeah, that's what I was
fixer.
gonna say.
I
It's
know.
just the start, you know. It's
I
just
know,
like
but
getting her to
I felt
open
bad.
up,
Even
yeah.
though you were not the real patient, I felt bad at the end. I'm like, oh my God.
So you won't be a mental health nurse.
So should we all take a bow?
What a story.
Woo! Bow, bow, take a bow.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, all fun.